Hey guys, I thought I would go ahead and shoot a quick video showing you how to solve the king checker problem that I was struggling with in the last video. So let's see if you remember where we were. I was fiddling with it. Let's remove that guy from the board, right? And I'm getting this weird, uh, you know, layout problem. And I think what that looks like is it looks like it's aligning. Whoops. Looks like it's aligning it with the bottom of the cell and then pushing, like it looks like maybe this is a lot. This font is aligned with the top of maybe the checker and the bottom of the cell or something. I don't know, or the bottom of the row, perhaps. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use Flexbox to solve this problem. First, let's go back and put our kings back in there. All right. All right. Oops. Tab that in. Let's just tab those in there so it gets nice and neat. I think maybe one more tab. There we go. All right. That looks good. All right, so let's make sure that we end up with a king in there, and we do, an ugly yellow king. Okay, so let's do some CSS. First, let's get rid of this coloring from here, and because the rest of what we do today is going to be all in the CSS. All right, so we're going to use Flexbox to solve this problem. And we had actually played with Flexbox a while back, so we're actually going to go ahead and re-add those styles in there. And at the same time, and I remember we did Flexbox Froggy, so we're basically going to say, hey, listen, this row, right, this whole element here, okay, let's go ahead and turn pesticide on, right? So, each row is going to use Flexbox, right, to space its content evenly within the row, okay? And then, so let me go ahead and refresh that. Okay, and you'll notice that I'm losing my margins there. In fact, if I go back, yeah, well, it gets rid of those margins, okay, when we do that to the row. So we'll need to add those margins back because I kind of like how they look. And we'll just do, say, maybe 3 vmin, 3% of the, whoa, maybe a little more than we wanted there. I think we might want to go with 0.5 vmin. All right, that's even a little bit, maybe 0.3 vmin. That's probably why I'm remembering that. Oops. I don't want to do that. Okay, that looks a little bit better. It is giving us a bit of a margin around here, right? If you're noticing, this is a little wider. So if I inspect this, you'll notice that first off, let me inspect this cell here. Okay, this cell has a little bit of margin, but in addition to that cell having some margin, let me inspect this guy, the actual board container. The board container has padding. So and you notice that the padding here, like doesn't stop at quite, the edge of the cell, right? There's that little black gap. So it's actually making a noticeable difference. So we probably want to decrease the padding on the board container, which is set at 2%. And we can set that based off of the vmin as well. So maybe it'll be maybe it'll be the same 0.3 vmin. So let's see. All right, that's a little narrower than what we want. So maybe 0.5 vmin. Maybe. So maybe we're going to go with 1 vmin. All right, cool. I think I like that. That looks pretty good. feels about right. You know, I feel like I could put a smidge more in between the cells. Yeah, I feel good about it. I feel like that looks good. All right, maybe that's a little more than we had before, but anyway, you can kind of fiddle with it to get it to your taste, okay? So now we're using Flexbox to lay these out and space them evenly, okay? Now we're going to do the same thing and in fact, it's a little bit easier if I do, move this guy here, move that guy there, okay, and then row 1, this cell here, and this guy has the icon in it, okay? So we need to center that in the cell. So let's go ahead and we're going to grab not the icon itself, but the checker that contains the icon, okay? And we're going to say that this checker, and actually the checker class in general, is going to have display, flex, okay? Notice that pushed that up into the corner of the content area, right? Display flex, and we're going to justify the content to the center, and we're okay. So now it's centered, and then we're going to align the items also to the center. All right, and so now we've got the icon centered in the cell. Okay, and then we probably want to change the color. Okay. But for that, we probably want to have one color for black checkers and another color for white checkers. So let's just say like a gray. So for black checkers, we're probably, well, going to want, actually let me move one of those and put that here. Oh, that's right, we don't get, this guy's got our icon in it. So let me steal this icon real quick, and we're going to put it, it doesn't actually matter which cell, which one we put it inside of. Edit as HTML. We'll stick it right there. And okay, so now we're going to say in inside of white checkers, and it's just the color because it's font. It's just this plain old color attribute. We're going to give it a darker. In white checkers, we want a darker gray, so that means a lower number, something like maybe 333. Okay, that's probably good. All right, and might even be able to go with 444. Oops. Yeah, I think that looks okay. It's visible, not too overpowering. Okay, but inside of our black checkers, let's inspect our black checker here, we are going to want a different color. Inside of black checker, we want a color of probably maybe BBB. Yeah, that looks pretty visible, but not too, you know, not like FFF, which would be just pretty pow. BBB. Yeah, we'll go with CCC. All right, so CCC and 444 looks like are going to be, and those will be relatively visible. And then we also need to set the size of the icon. So let's go ahead and add the changes we just made to our CSS. So black checkers have a text color of CCC, right? And 6 C's is the exact same as 3 C's. And white checkers have a text color of 444. All right. And then our checkers themselves have a display of flex, justify content of center, align items, center, save it. Let's make sure that all loads okay. Yep, and I get my king. Okay, so So now we've got a king that shows properly. Of course, if we put, we need it to indicate that I should get a king here. And I think, was there something? Oh, yeah, we want the size, right? Because if I change the size of this, you'll notice that my king, it gets gigantic, right? Or if I make this thing, um, my king is teeny tiny, right? So we need the king's size. So we're going to say king. That's the icon, right? We need these to have a size of, I don't know, say 1 vmin to start with. Or let's say 1 vmin. See what that looks like. All right, refresh that. Move that off. Move that over there. All right, that looks pretty good. 1 vmin. And then as I move it smaller, it should stay. No, it does not. Oh, because it's, the vmin, that ought to get smaller. It doesn't seem to be getting smaller. That is, that's too big. Why? The size of 1 vmin. Oh, it's font size. That's the problem. I was the container, not the font itself. All right. So let's get rid of that. All right, maybe a little small for 1 vmin. Let's go with 3 vmin. All right, that looks good. All right, so make it smaller. Oops, pretty much disappears. Yeah, it's there. You can barely see it probably on the video, but you can see it's scaling up, and it's not ever getting too big. Okay, so yeah, I'd say that works. So a size of 3 vmin. Okay, so now all we need to do is when we move, here we said if it's a black and we're moving it to row 1, then I'm making that a king. So we need a similar structure to say else if the selected checker is white and the selected row is 8, then I'm moving a white checker to the black home row. All right, so move that out of the way, move that there, move this. All right, guys, I think at this point we have a fully functional checkers game, or checkers board. Not a game, right? We already talked about the difference between a game and a board. This does not enforce the rules other than kinging. And the only reason that we're enforcing when to king is because it's easier than trying to get the user to do something. But yeah, I think that we're pretty good at this point. So cleanup, maybe we'll go through some of the cleanup actions that I would do down the road. But I'm pretty comfortable with where we are right now. So good job, everybody, on this project. If you've gotten to this point, you should pat yourselves on the back. And we plan on adding some or all of these checker games to the ACA website if you guys are interested in posting them so that people can play your checker game. So next up, chess. I'm excited to work on that with you guys, and just a brief preview maybe. Oops, let's go, here we go, to look at this game board, and here we've got the start of some pieces that I've been working on. So good, good luck with those. If you guys, hopefully you guys have got some chess pieces that you like. Um, and I will be, whoops, and yeah, I am going to be getting started with chess with you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to wrap up the semester with a fully functioning checkerboard and a fully functioning chessboard, and maybe even do a little bit of server-side work. So we'll see if we have time for that. Anyhow, great job, everybody. Super proud of y'all. And let me know if you have any questions.